Hello and welcome to the program. We're barely a month into government resolve to review the concerns about the impact on their pocket in terms of their capital and their revenue, saying that it has inched up import values at the port. We're joined by the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Awingo, bit for more. Samson, we're hard with yourself, Guta, AGI. Why this concern now?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I have to raise these concerns now because my colleagues from Guta, for that matter, my senior comrade from Guta President, to us, my mood and my action and my inactions on that very day, has to call on him to come and talk to me, to say this government policy, and we can't. Sometimes it will look like I am antagonist. Government care is not taken. The hardship that will hit all of us, we will all regret at the end of the day. And the government succeeded. The finance minister announced to us he was taking 20%. And I'm sure if my colleague is on the other line, he will admit that I started thanking government. And I think that was not the best way, because we went in as a team. We have worked out together as a team to say, okay, and we say, okay, this is what the man is saying. Where do you go? What picture do you look like? So that we can, so it doesn't look like we just cooked everything for government to look like we didn't do a good job for the people that we say we are protecting and we are defending them. That was why I raised immediately after he ended, my colleague from Guta spoke with it. I raised my hand. Then my values that the government gave to the visa community is still prevailing, is still worse even than before. And I said, look, if you take, why don't you put vehicle owners? I said, why don't you give it was 30%? Why don't you give them 20%? Or you give them 15%, but you're giving them 10%.
Well, you know, Samson, it beats my imagination, Samson. If you could hear me, Samson, it beats my imagination that all these concerns that you're raising could have been raised during the constitutive meeting. It begs the question, what happened? Especially when we are seeing concessions on there for us for a while, because we want to play back an interaction that I had with the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry on this particular matter. Take a listen to her response.
But after a lot more consultation, broader consultation, we arrived at this. Of course, this is not going to solve everybody's problem, but it looks like this is a lot. But what was your question?
Most of the traders are saying that the reduction from 50 to 30 is unfavorable. How do you respond?
Most of the traders were initially really kicked the full reversal. And then after consultation, we got to the 30%. Now, the 30%, we did a lot of consultation. And of course, you know, in consultation, it's not everyone who is exactly going to agree to. We seal it off there, and then the government took the decision. But then again, I'll still go back to the domesticating bit, that if they will agree that a lot of things that they import, like that we have the capacity to produce, are producing here. The government has committed so much to get in partnership with these private individuals or organizations, and have set these up to ensure that we are able to up the game of our industrialization, and to ensure that we are able to create a lot more jobs.
Well, Samson, you did hear the Deputy Minister.
Well, I don't know whether if the Deputy Trade Minister have gone to town after the 20% reversal, and have seen prices of goods that kept on increasing, not just a month, not just a week, but you go for a goods today, product today, and tomorrow you go back and that same product is changed. And if, especially much as well, I don't know if we had looked for any BOE to compare and contrast. At the time there was a duty tax payment, how much was paying at the time, and now with the 20% reversal, where it has taken people to. I just want to, for example, a duty for a chicken back at the time was costing about, for a container, was running about 42 to 45,000 Ghana cedis. As we speak, after 20% reversal, that 45,000 has moved to 60,000 to 65,000. That's what we are talking about. Now, a cost of a duty for chicken legs was running for 3,000. Some have even moved as far as from 64 to 94,000. That is what we are talking about. Again, this is
figures as of last week, before Benman 20% reversal, chicken thighs was costing, a box was costing 105 Ghana cedis. And this one said it was last week. I'm sure today week as we speak, if I go and ask for a box of chicken today, chicken thighs, the price will have changed. 105 now is still at 160 Ghana cedis. You can imagine. Chicken drum, which was still at 110 Ghana cedis, after 20% Benman reversal, it was going for 160. Now, with the 20% Benman reversal, it's going for 195. And these are even dependent from which company that you are buying. These one-on-one importers can no longer survive.
And of course, you keep mentioning, it's made it quite clear that government is self-sufficient in the consumption and production of chicken. But we appreciate your concerns. Awin Gobe, he is the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association. Away from that, this hour, toll booth workers are bemoaning delays in the reassignment. My colleague James Ishen has been interrogating their concerns and has this report.
After the closure of various toll booths across the country, the workers were given assurances of a reassignment. Ella Meto is one of such workers who were to highways. I visited Ella, one of the leaders of the group, to know how the journey has been for him and his colleagues.
Well, since the closure of the toll booths, PWDs especially have been fighting to get a new job, because we were all aware when the budget was being read at the parliament in November. The minister told Ghanaians that the toll workers will be reassigned. So we keep following. So as I'm talking to you right now, we've been to the ministry for more than 4 times. But fortunately for us, the last time my colleague this year, the minister met them and promised them that they are still working on the reassignment for persons living with disability.
He wants the government to regulate the activities of the toll booth workers.
So we are still praying that that reassignment is going to come, because when you check our constitution, the government is supposed to train PWDs and employ them. And there has never been an initiative to employ persons with disability in any institution larger than this initiative. So we were extremely happy, because it's going to alleviate a bit of poverty from some of our people. And it indeed happened. It was actually happened. So we are still praying that the government will still consider the decision by re-engaging, especially the PWD, because we can all testify to the fact that it's not every institution that is willing to employ PWD because of the cost involved.
It had been days to get back to work regardless of the challenges.
Well, in the beginning, it wasn't encouraging. The feedback was not encouraging. As I've just said, on the 30th, my colleagues went there. I wasn't able to be part of them. The minister himself met them and promised them that within the week, the coming weeks, they are going to give us the plans that the government have for PWDs, especially as to the closure of the toll booth. So we are praying that that promise that they made in the past and what the minister, Honorable Amakwata, also said on the 30th is going to yield the result that may bring some kind of relief to especially the PWDs. Ella
Meto has been unemployed for the past 1 year and over, right from when he was sacked for the closure of the toll booth across the country. But there is some positive news here. His group and himself are engaging the Ministry of Finance for a reassignment. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has observed a worrying phenomenon of employers conniving with the employers to underdeclare salaries. Now, this has resulted in low contribution towards the scheme, with the corresponding meager benefit received on retirement. Here's more.
By law, 5.5% of employees' salary is deducted, in addition to 13% of the amount from the employer is paid as Social Security. Part of the amount is paid to SNIT as the employee's retirement benefits. 60% of the highest income insured is paid to the employee on a monthly basis on retirement after a lump sum. Dr. Oferitenkran explains any efforts to evade payment puts employees' future at risk.
Sometimes, because of miseducation, some people would connive with their employers and say that, okay, don't pay me my SNET, because as for SNET, nothing good comes out of it. And then the employer saves the 13%, and then the 5.5% is not deducted. And you think that you are getting something today, some additional income to spend today, not knowing that you are jeopardizing your future for that day. When that day comes, when you're unable to work, you are going to miss SNET being there to pay for you for as long as you live. You, the employee, stands the chance to earn up to 60% of the highest incomes that you came to declare and insure with us for life. For life. This is not a 1 day or wonder or 1 month or 2 years or 3 years. For as long as you live, SNET is there to pay you.
In dealing with challenges mitigating against contributions, SNET, in collaboration with Ministry of Education, has introduced supplementary readers on Social Security for senior high schools. At the launch in Kumasi, Deputy Minister of Education, John Intim Fojo, explained the move will improve financial literacy among the population.
We want our learners, about 10 million of them in that category, from kindergarten, primary, JHS up to SHS, to be imbibed with the social values and financial literacy, even to understand the essence of insurance and SNET in particular, that in your active service, the contribution that you make to SNET will be your savior when you're in old age and unable to work, or even in an unlikely event of incapacitation. Many people are not aware of these products or these provisions, and that is why we want our learners to get it and spread the good news.
All 16 regions have already received copies of the supplementary readers through the regional education offices. For JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
You're still watching The Marketplace. The Canadian government has begun talks to team up with the pharmaceutical industry to produce COVID-19 vaccines from Ghana. Now, this is coming after Canada donated over 300,000 vaccines to the country. The Minister of International Development and Pacific Economic Development Agency, Harjit Sajjan, told Joy Business Odile Ntiamoa that Canada is also giving Ghana 75 million Canadian dollars to support the country's economic recovery from the impact of COVID-19. There is more in this exclusive interview with Joy Business.
This morning, I am here with Harjit Sajjan, who is the International Development Minister for Canada, to discuss a few things relating to Ghana, COVID-19, and of course, just how the world has changed over the past few months and what the direction in terms of development for Africa is. Welcome.
Great, thank you so much for having me.
You have spent so far in Ghana between 2019 and 2020 some about $25 million when it comes to COVID-related issues. As it stands currently, Ghana's heartbeat is not COVID-19. Its economic issues is things relating to revenue. Exactly what is going to be the direction, since you have stated on your website that your conversations with countries can change depending on the kind of issues that are on the table.
Yes, well, absolutely. First of all, I mean, the pandemic is a very important issue that we need to deal with effectively. And I mean, Ghana's health system is very well run. I got to see it firsthand. And it's one where I think the country was able to look after its people quite effectively. So very proud of the system there. But because we've been working together in this region for some time, whether it's supporting the health system, the agricultural sector, and many other issues. So Canada is proud of our involvement. So we absolutely, when it comes to a nation, we're looking far beyond than just the COVID-19 pandemic. Had a wonderful conversation with the Vice President yesterday. We talked about many different issues, especially the innovation, the vocational training that can happen, but also with the Minister of Agriculture, the agri-tech, the opportunity to leapfrog technologies where it also can be sustainable for the environment as well. So we're looking at new opportunities that we've had in the past on how we can work together to support your country, but also at the same time have an impact for the wider region as well, because Ghana does so well.
One of the three key areas also for your ministry is one of them is youth development, and you have just mentioned your conversation with the Vice President. Exactly what will be the concentration now that unemployment is one critical issue that is being talked about in Ghana currently? What's the direction?
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because education and health is extremely important. Something that we have been focusing on for some time, is one of my priorities when it comes to my portfolio. Providing youth the education and the training, but linked into linking the vocational training. So one is, it's not just about jumping into anything, it's about creating a plan. What is a vision? You create a plan for it. And what are the best tools to bring to support? The development tools are just one aspect of things, but as Ghana proudly is going beyond aid, we want to look at economic opportunity through trade, other things as well. But as we talk about the youth, one thing that is very important to us, but also we know how effective it is the focus on gender, on women.
And women.
And women empowerment, especially girls. When you give the opportunity, it is not just the right thing to do, it's actually an economic opportunity. We have seen it, the benefits in our own country, and I had some tremendous conversations just yesterday when we announced $17.5 million for a green innovation opportunities, and I got to meet some young entrepreneurs who are not only entrepreneurs from an economic sense, but they're also thinking about sustainability, how to employ more women, putting social issues into it, human rights. It's quite impressive, and those are the things that what you want is, when you have economic growth, to do it in a very social, conscious way that impacts the youth, that impacts women empowerment, that impacts human rights, is the best way for a country to grow.
I want to still stay on issues relating to economics and look at, you also do business with us to the tune of more than about 300 million. Exactly how do we sort of like leapfrog as a country and also leverage on the lead that Canada has taken when it comes to technology and also converting our raw exports to finished products?
So I'm glad you mentioned it. So first of all, we're not here to say what needs to be done. This is the vision for the country, and what we want to do is come here to learn, to listen, and look at how we can better help. The development support that we provide is something that we are very proud of, but the economic opportunity comes from the vision that the nation wants, but also an opportunity for our Canadian companies, how we can best look at some companies may have really good synergy, some good skills. That's where the economic opportunity is going to take place. But we also know that when you talk about economic opportunity, you need that synergy that comes in with the ecosystem of making sure you have the appropriate talent. So that's what we're doing now, is making sure that we have the right to learn exactly the direction that the country wants to go. This is an opportunity for me to learn. I mean, we've done tremendous work together in the agriculture sector already, but the next steps will have to be on what is that vision, what is the government would like to do. Then we can look at what are the tools within Canada from a development sector. But one thing that the next step is go from development to economic opportunity, as you say in Ghana, go beyond aid.
Finally, COVID-19 COVAX vaccines, over 300,000 of them have been sent to Ghana. Our population is over 30 million people. For some people, they say that, well, that's just a drop in the ocean. But of course, I mean, you're just a development partner. Are there any plans to do more in relation to supporting Ghana in its vaccination agenda?
First of all, when it comes to
And of course, that's how we end this edition of The Marketplace. For more news, to log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Charles Aite. Many thanks for watching.